All right, so the Global Leadership Group is an international organization, not only in Ghana, but we find ourselves in other parts of Africa and also Europe and America. So the intent of this group is to grow leaders who are ethical in modern parlance. So we bring moral plus leadership together to ensure that we are not just building leaders for organizations, but we are building ethical leaders who suit our current challenges and problems.
Right.
You know, we have transitioned from different forms of leadership, but at Global Leadership Group, we believe that we need to grow more ethical leaders, leaders who are more responsible, leaders who are more focused, and leaders who are more oriented towards modern ways of doing things.
As HR, what conversation should we be having about things like this?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone watching us. So building high-performing teams. So we can add high-performing teams and even leaders, you know. So, you know, a lot of times, companies do things somehow, anyhow, you know. Somehow, anyhow, yes, I'll explain that. So before you set up anything, or company, or business, or a department or something, you should have the purpose that you are seeking to achieve. When you have that purpose clearly spelled out, then by that you know the kind of people or the caliber of employees or leaders who can run that expectation, who can make sure that goal is achieved.
So just don't get up and because you think you qualify through academics or through marks or grades, you are fit to be in the position of a leader. No, it takes more than that. So we need to dive into all the things that goes into making someone a credible leader.
Le groupe mondial pour le leadership porte une ambition claire. Découvrir les talents, développer les compétences et former des femmes et des hommes capables de diriger avec excellence. Nous sommes un partenaire de référence pour toutes celles et ceux qui souhaitent exercer un leadership responsable, inspirant et durable, au service des organisations, des communautés et des nations. Notre vision est de transformer et d'influencer positivement le monde en formant des leaders d'excellence engagés auprès des générations présentes et futures. Notre mission consiste à former et à équiper les nations et les peuples grâce à des principes de leadership fondés sur les valeurs de Dieu. Nous voulons donner à chacun les moyens d'agir avec discernement, courage et intégrité. Notre action repose sur des valeurs exigeantes: l'apprentissage continu, l'excellence, la redevabilité, la dévotion à Dieu, l'autonomisation, la responsabilité, la compétence, le travail rigoureux, l'intégrité et le professionnalisme. Ces valeurs guident chacune de nos décisions. Notre philosophie tient en une conviction forte: diriger avec excellence, c'est conjuguer vision, service et responsabilité. Concrètement, nous intervenons dans 4 domaines complémentaires: la formation en leadership, le renforcement des capacités en gestion, le conseil et l'expertise auprès des entreprises, ainsi que la certification en leadership. Notre mandat s'articule autour de 4 piliers: les églises et les organisations non gouvernementales, le développement de la famille et de la communauté, la gouvernance et les politiques publiques, enfin, les organisations et les entreprises. Cette approche globale nous permet d'accompagner les leaders là où leur influence peut produire un impact durable. Notre ambition est de devenir au cours des 5 prochaines années l'organisation mondiale de référence en matière de développement du leadership. Pour concrétiser cette ambition, notre stratégie d'expansion s'appuie notamment sur le Ghana, le Royaume-Uni, les États-Unis et l'Allemagne, avec une volonté constante d'adapter nos programmes aux réalités de chaque pays. Nos objectifs sont précis: certifier nos membres, renforcer le leadership au sein des organisations et des entreprises, accompagner les églises et les ONG, soutenir les familles et les communautés et contribuer à une gouvernance plus solide et plus responsable. Nous proposons 4 niveaux d'adhésion, conçus pour accompagner chaque étape du parcours: bronze, argent, or et héritage. Chacun offre un cadre de progression vers un leadership plus accompli et une contribution plus durable. Au-delà de la formation et de la certification, nous ouvrons également des perspectives professionnelles. Nos opportunités d'emploi et notre réseau valorisent les compétences, l'engagement et la qualification de nos membres certifiés. Rejoindre le groupe mondial pour le leadership, c'est choisir de progresser, de servir et d'influencer avec justesse. Découvrir, développer, diriger. Ensemble, faisons émerger les leaders d'excellence dont le monde a besoin.
Hello. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which side of the globe you are watching us from. This is Global Leadership Group. Every month, last Sunday, we do very well to get you creme de la creme resource persons to come and teach us or tell us about important points in leadership, contemporary points in how to lead our teams to be very, very productive in all spheres. So without wasting much time, let me inform you that the theme for this evening's discussion is the future of leadership, i.e. exploring emerging trends and skills for next generation leaders. And we are so privileged to have two wonderful, well-experienced, in fact, gurus in this field who are coming to lead the conversation for us. So they would introduce themselves to us. We'll start from the first one, Pastor Christian Sinclair.
Hi, good evening. Hello, Happy, good evening. So, if you can hear me, hello. Yeah. Hello, Happy, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening and all
Pastor
good day.
Sinclair, yes, I wanted you to introduce yourself
Okay,
to our viewers.
very well. Okay, so my name is Christian Sinclair. I'm a Ghanaian. I'm a customer experience HR and strategy expert with near to 2 decades of working experience. Had the opportunity to serve in various organizations, largely in the finance sector or industry, and have a strong passion for customer experience. In fact, it's like an infirmity. Very service obsessed and quality service obsessed. Also, in the course of my career, I've had opportunity to be certified by the World Bank and IFC as a trainer. In fact, interestingly, I find myself doing a lot of training. And then, last but one, I serve as a senior manager for service operations, currently with Consolidated Bank Ghana. And like you mentioned, like Madam Happy mentioned, I also serve as an ordained minister of the gospel. So that will be a little of my profile. Happily married and with children. Thank you. Yes, let me pass on the baton to Moha.
Right.
So,
Okay. Hi. Hi, Sinclair.
hi, hi.
Okay. So, well, for introductions, my name is Moha. Okay. Moha is Arabic. It means beautiful.
Wow.
And what can I say? Sinclair, you are an Ogboro. Anyway, so I have quite a wealth of experience in ministry. So I've done ministry work for close to 3 decades, and that is where my passions are. But on the corporate side, I also work with CBG, currently as a retail relationship manager. And I'm also a certified IAPPD certified trainer, and then a ProSci certified change practitioner. And so I guess my wealth of experience with working in ministry at various levels over the years, and my work as well in the corporate sector with holding various roles and positions as well, come together to give me a rich experience. So I hope that Sinclair and I, with our combined wealth of experience in both corporate and ministry sectors, would be of help and would be able to share some insightful, thoughts with you tonight on the show.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Many thanks to the two of you for making time out of your very busy schedules to be with us tonight. We are grateful. So, my first question goes to Pastor Christian Sinclair. Please, what does the future of leadership look like?
Quite an intriguing question. Um, a lot playing out, and I would say that it's. I don't know whether to say it's complicated because it's present continuous. Because as we speak now, there are emerging trends, and it's rapid. Um, for me, I see um, a future where we have leaders being called to. I would pick a number of areas, maybe just speak to one or two of them, pass on to Moha. So I see a world where we have the complication of leaders, becoming more globally minded. Some years back, when you say globalization, it was quite, it seemed as it was, for some people, it was a bit abstract. But today is with us, where for any leader, you need to now be looking at how you can be interconnected across countries and regions. And by virtue of technology, even as we're having this evening, you have to be able to position yourself to engage. So the customer base is no more just within, if you call it the town or city or country necessarily exists, but today you have the opportunity to be able to engage, customers and business partners across the globe. So, for me, my first point to be being globally minded, having a global perspective, and it calls for cultural intelligence. So today, I mean, we heard a few weeks ago when there was this debate about the UBA founder and a young lady on an intern, and the whole conversation was centered largely on culture. You know, Don't call me by my first name, but call me as Oga or whatever. And the people had different perspectives. But the point was, it was about cultural intelligence. There's also a call to open-mindedness, so you can no more just look at things as a Ghanaian CEO, you know. There's a call for the leader to have adaptability, meaning that you can't be glued to a certain perspective on how you want. No, you should be able to respond to changing environment, adjust your strategy when operating across different markets. You know, there's a call to inclusive leadership. I'm talking about globalization and a global leader as an emerging trend. Of course, digital and technological awareness has become non-negotiable. Strategic thinking, global collaboration, knowing how to build relationships across countries. For me, practically, today I sit in my office and I'm called into meetings, and you have to speak to some, what do we call it? A vendor who is in India, is in the US, and you need to engage, speak, be able to collaborate to be able to achieve a certain result. And then you look at resilience and agility. So a lot of things playing out. But my point is that today's leader is being called to the trend now is you need to think globally, understand locally, connect with people, adapt quickly, and then act responsibly. So that will be my first point, Madam Happy. I don't know if you want me to add a little. So in
Thank
terms
you.
of, because we said we are talking about skills, so
Yeah.
the skill that will be required for this global minded leader, we have global awareness, cultural intelligence. So in case somebody is writing, cross cultural communication. So now you need to begin to learn a little bit of languages. There are some tools that today is able to help for you to be able to translate very quickly, because you need to act and be able to build partnerships. Geopolitical awareness. You can't sit and say, all I know is about Denta. Now you need to be watching a little CNN, because there's the influence of the global market on our look at our fuel prices and all of that. Managing diverse teams. Today in our offices, we have different people from different nations working across different platforms. So, and then international business awareness. Yeah, just a little on globalization. So that would be my
Wow.
first trend. Yeah, that
Great,
would be my
great,
first trend.
great,
Thank
great,
you.
great, great. Thank you so much, Pastor Sinclair. That was very deep, very deep, very deep,
Yeah.
very deep. Okay, so thank you. So, Lady Reverend Mua, please, how is artificial intelligence changing leadership?
You had to give me the artificial intelligence question. Well, right now, there is no escaping AI. All
Yeah,
right. I
yeah,
remember years ago when computers were a strange thing to us. When computers started emerging, a lot of people were very skeptical about it. And
yeah,
so it took people a while to actually adapt, and get used to it. Initially, people thought, so it was some evil thing, and people were not so into it. But now everybody is on a computer, everybody has a smartphone. I mean, it didn't go away. It kept on emerging and getting better and better. It's the same with AI. With AI now, there's a lot of talk about AI, it being, the negative sides of it and all that. But AI is not going to go away. AI is going to continue to, you know, go on and on and on, improve, get better, get complicated. Like if you pick a computer from when it started and today, if you pick a TV set from when we had box TVs till today, we have flat screens and smart TVs. So it keeps getting better, it keeps improving, it keeps emerging. So as a leader, you can't shun away from AI. Okay, we cannot say that we don't need AI. Yes, we need HI. HI is very important, and that's human intelligence. But as a future leader, I think that it is very important that we become AI literate. All right. So, what I would advise is that each and every one of us takes a bit time to study and know more about AI, Because if we don't, the next generation coming is going to run with AI and we are going to fall back. And like we thought our parents were archaic, the next generation is also going to think we are archaic. So you don't want to be a CEO of today and seem to look archaic. All right. So when the next gen is talking about AI, talking about technology, talking about AI tools, you should be literate, you should be knowledgeable about AI. So AI has come to stay, whether we like it or not. AI is going to keep getting more complicated. It's going to improve, whether it's for the worse or it's for the better. It is good that we get to know AI, we get the hang of it so that we can actually use it to our advantage as a tool rather than, despise it or look down on it or think we don't actually need it. We shouldn't be totally dependent on AI. We have to use our HI as well, but we can use AI as a tool to help us, in our leadership. So I think that is what I'll say about AI, that we all need AI literacy because we are in the AI era, whether you like it or not. So you need to learn. Take your time, there are a lot of, I see programs, online where you can actually learn about all the AI applications and tools and all that. So spend a little money, invest a little money, and learn about AI and become AI literate. I think it would help.
Yes. Sure. Thank you so much.
You're
That is
welcome.
so. AI is not going anywhere, so we don't have to wait for our companies to pay for us to go for training on artificial intelligence program. Right now, they are all over on social media.
Yes.
As
Yes.
low as $1, you can get some. You know. Thank you so much.
You're
So,
welcome.
Pastor Sinclair, please, how can leaders effectively manage a multi-generational workforce?
Interesting. Multi-generational. So, of course, that would take us into um, a little about human resource, looking at it from the new trend, right? Because when we talk about a workforce, then we're talking about HR. I see a number of things that will be of great help to the leader. Um, Talking about being more strategic, talking about being more technology enabled, and then being employee centric. You know, this would help. So let me continue just from where Buha ended. I believe that the leader will have to take advantage of tools like our the famous AI. Today, you have things like automated HR administration tools that are able to help you. Even in performance management, now you're able to benefit from AI support, workforce analytics, all technology driven. And then we also have continuous learning because where you have multi generational, then it means you have to make sure uh, some generation is also catching up with another generation because the realities do not consider generation. Whether you are old or young, you have to work within the dispensation. So we need to build, of course, in HR, we'll talk about things like skill based talent management, identifying the gaps and then developing learning programs. Again, today, technology has made learning in an HR or in an organization quite, what I call it, easier, like you mentioned, even affordable. I mean, think programs that would have been held in, you needed in person. Today, with technology, you can have a number of people and, like they're saying, multi generations within your organization going through. Again, we are able to take advantage or take into cognizance the employee well-being. Okay, so their mental well-being, their financial well-being, and because we are saying multi-generational, you must be conscious of again the well-being of the different generations as a leader. And today people are employing psychologists and all of that to help to make sure that you are able to ensure that things like burnout and all of that does not play out within your organization. um, looking at the various, and then today we also have the hybrid and flexible working pattern, which again is an advantage to today's leader, where based on the job requirements, you're able to look at the different roles and then look at the different, again, generations or people that occupy these roles and be able to determine things like remote working, flexible working arrangements. They are things that some years back for some organizations was impossible, And so today you can take advantage of somebody who has gone on retirement and still be able to leverage on the fact that the person doesn't have to walk into your organization and still provide a certain service or skill that is required. Yeah. And then maybe this would have been number one, talking about people analytics. I think I've mentioned it already. So we are able to take care of that. Look at, again, today we have a lot of call or emphasis on diversity and inclusion. So again, we need to look at how to handle this, looking at technology, career progression, community. So the different groups of people, diversity, inclusive requirements, and all of that, fair promotion, a number of things. And then lastly, I'll talk about human-centered leadership. One of the qualities or skill of a leader who will have to manage multi-generational personnel is that you should be able to develop strong human centered leadership where we are applying things like empathy, emotional intelligence. The reality is that, let me share practically, some years back, the dynamics to a work environment is different and it has changed. I mean, what we had previously is not what we have today. Today, you have to fight dress code because they tell you that it is the work they have to do, it's not necessarily how they look, So it takes emotional intelligence for today's leader to be able to manage those who knew that within a certain organization, this is how people should dress. And then those who think that, you can have braids or you can have earrings, you can have triple piercings. And again, taking into consideration the fact that you are possibly dealing with a global workforce, different kinds of people, different cultures, and all of that. So, in summary, there's a lot we can talk about, but I think this should be able to help any leader who has to handle, multi-generational workforce. I hope I've said a little, or it's been helpful.
Yeah,
you.
it's really been helpful. It's really
Yeah.
been helpful. Okay. So I'll ask one more question. That question goes to Lady Reverend. So please, how can organizations develop um, this next generation of leaders? How can organizations develop them?
Okay. So happy you are just doing the questions to ask one at a time. Or maybe Sinclair can answer this better than me. You never know. But anyway, so what was your question again?
My question was, how
Mhm.
can organizations develop the next generation of leaders?
All right. So I would say that we need certain skills. Okay. We need certain skills for our next level generation of leaders. And one of them I would say is emotional intelligence, which is very important. I think Sinclair just talked about a bit of that. Okay, emotional intelligence is always very important. I mean, without emotional intelligence, Sinclair mentioned earlier about cultural intelligence, and all that. So we can't just take some of these things for granted. You can't make an innocent mistake. You have to learn. You have to, you know, equip yourself. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to be savvy. And so you need emotional intelligence. And thankfully today, like you also said earlier, there are tons of, programs out there. Some of them are free, videos you can watch. Some of them are apps you can download. Some of them are just a little fee you pay, to access certain courses, and you don't have to wait for your company to say, go for a training program or go do this course. You yourself, you have to be able to develop yourself. Self-development is very important, so self-education, self-improvement all the time. You have to, we are moving so fast. So everything is just moving so fast because of the technology era we are in, and it is going at the speed of lightning. So you cannot be left behind. And the only way you can keep moving with a trend is that you keep improving yourself, updating your knowledge and all that. So emotional intelligence is very important. Number two, like I already said, AI and digital literacy. It is also so essential in the times we find ourselves in. All right. Then adaptability. And then we have also to know, we have to have strategic thinking. We have to also have strategic thinking. And communication is very essential. We have to be good communicators. For a leader, you have to be a good communicator. Now, since I love the ministry side so much, let me use an example in the Bible. All right. Look at David. David's leadership versus Saul's leadership. You realize that David's men felt such a belonging and such loyalty to David that they were willing to run through a troop, run through the war zone, risk their lives just to go and get David water that he craved for. You see, and they would not have sacrificed their lives for him if he was not a good leader. Okay. And so as a leader, you can't, the trend is moving from authoritative and commanding, to influence. Okay. So we have to be influential leaders, and you can't do that with authority and command. You have to do that with influence. And to be an influencer, you need to be a good communicator. So communication is very important. All right. Then critical thinking. Let me just read through what I have put down. Creativity and innovation is very important as well. Ethical decision making. Ethical decision making is very important in the age that we are in. That AI and technology is doing most of the things for us. As good leaders, we should be able to think through it. Is this ethical? Whatever decision we are making for the company, for the people we work with or who work under us, is this ethical? All right. Then collaboration and inclusion is also very important. Like I spoke about David, collaboration and inclusion is very important. And then most importantly, I've already mentioned continuous learning. So we need these skills in the times that we are in and the times that we are entering into. Happy, are you there?
I am here. I am here. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Verity. Thank you so much. Yeah. So at this point, we are going on a 2 minutes break. Please
Okay.
don't go away.
Global Leadership Group presents the International Leadership Management Center from the 1st of November.
Welcome back. So my next question goes to Pastor Sinclair. Hello, Pastor.
Yes. Hi. Happy?
Yes, please. Yeah. So Lady Pastor even has spoken a bit about it.
Yeah.
She spoke about it. I want to ask, what qualities will help leaders navigate constant change and uncertainty? So if you could add something to what she's said about it already.
Okay. So
Yes.
talking about constant change as a leader, yeah, I think that number one, you must be in readiness for change. Okay, you must be in readiness. You must know that at all. I mean, the truth is that, per my experience or what I get to witness on a daily basis, you realize that we are in a highly evolving environment, meaning that things are changing very rapidly. So you must, I think she also mentioned something about adaptability, right? You must position yourself to be able to adapt to the different situations or scenarios. If I want to go a little further, I would touch on um, being ready to re-engineer your processes. When it comes to change, a lot also has to do with the the modalities within the organization. So we'll be talking about things like transformation, where you want to be able to drive a certain change. It's been done in this way. We are able to systematically put in place measures to be able to move the situation from this to what we want to see. We also will talk about employing. Today, you look at data-driven, you know, approach to change management, where you are not just executing the change based on assumptions, but employing the necessary technologies and tools that are available. So being more automated in your approach, and then ready to look at I also observe that now we have a lot of what do we call it? These ISO and the world standard. Recently, we employed that for our organization in terms of our training and learning, where we didn't just apply what we thought we wanted to see, but we tried to look into what is global, what is accepted, and what will help us to be positioned in terms of whatever we're doing, not just from where we sit, but to be able to um, that which will be acceptable within any jurisdiction, in terms of its setup. That's what I was going to say. And so it's able to serve various purposes. So I think that will be the little I would say on being positioned for change, right? I don't know if I've done it well. Maybe
Yes,
Moha
please.
will
You
top
have.
up.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. You have. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, your main question is, please tell me, what's one piece of advice that you would give to young people preparing to become future leaders?
Okay. So I'll put it into a number of skills that they should get themselves ready, or I mean start building some capacity in um, as leaders. So already I spoke about being globally minded. We've touched on technology as a very important area. So you have to look at all the new trends in technology and be intentional to invest in it, right? Another area that is would I use the word trending, is there's a lot of talk about sustainability, talking about the ESG, talking about this green and all of that. Today we have talk about the environmental, the economic, social, when it comes to sustainability. It's a big area. I'm just trying to summarize it. So it's an area that every young person should be looking strongly into, because it comes with its benefits as well for organizations. People think it's just about paperless, but it has a lot of benefit, because today we have green financing, we have a number of things in that area. You can even take it up as a course. I also want to talk about there are a number of them in the area of customer experience. There's also a lot happening there. So if you want to position yourself as a future leader, you should be able to look strongly into, before, customer experience was the like HR. I did HR. At the point, it was felt like anybody can do HR, but today, not everybody can do HR. So, as a young person, you need to look into customer experience. Um, there's a lot happening there, omni-channel experience, being more proactive with customer service, talking about the technologies in customer experience. There's a lot happening there. So these are spaces that I personally would anticipate that institutions are going to take it up and formalize it, because I don't think there's any university in Ghana currently that does a course on customer experience. So that's a big area. Communication and PR is another crazy area. Today, everybody is a blogger. I don't know whether you watch the court happenings or when there are events. Everybody has a camera. And if you research, we are in an era of a lot of misinformation and disinformation, and organizations are going to be confronted with it, where people will spew things. So you should be able to have a strong setup when it comes to your PR and communication. Build some skills in that area. How do we manage disinformation? How do we manage misinformation? How do you become a global communicator? So that you're able to engage different cultures, like the first question you asked me. And let me end with I also observe that we are in an era of, I nearly said, a lot of, would I say, litigation or legalism. People know their rights. you know. I'm not saying previous people didn't know their rights, but when we started our career, there are things that you could do to customers, and in quotes, you go scot free because people don't know who to cry to. I mean, today I hear that there are lawyers that go to people and tell them, "Can we go and put this? I mean, I'm ready to, do this on, is it pro bono or whatever,
Yeah.
So they are ready to serve. I'm saying that customers have become, and not just customers alone, employees and business partners. There's a lot of legalism. So build some capacity in, a little about legal. Today I see a lot of HR people now going into law school to build some capacity, so that when it comes to managing workforce, So yeah, a lot said, but just I think these are a little I could share with our young people who are preparing to go into leader. Oh, sorry, let me add this strategy. Very, very important. You need to be more strategic. And strategy also is a whole field on its own. So for me, what I've been doing is picking a little of this, learning here and there to equip myself and position myself for the future. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. That was very
yeah.
educative. That was very educative. So I like Lady um to also give us one piece advice that she would give to young people preparing to become future leaders.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Happy.
It could be in
So,
ministry,
yes.
corporate.
So what I would want to say is, the Bible says that he who is faithful in little will also be faithful in much. Turn it the other way, then you could say that he who is unfaithful with little will also be unfaithful with much. All right. So as you are preparing for leadership, whatever you are now and however you are building yourself, is not going to change suddenly when you become a leader. It will rather be highlighted. Okay, so my advice is that we need to build character. We need to be trustworthy. We need to have integrity. It is very important. So from now, you need to look at yourself and see certain traits that look, when you become a leader, there's a lot of pressure on you. It is not the time that you think you suddenly change to become a good leader. If you are a dishonest person now, when you are put in a leadership position, you are going to be very dishonest. When you are a liar now, when you are put in a leadership position, you are going to tell bigger lies. Okay. And we see that happening, in our political scenes, the government, in corporations, in institutions, even in the church. Okay. So there is a need for integrity. There's a need for character building. So if you are a young person grooming yourself for a leadership position in the future, apart from all the skills we've spoken about, the number one thing you need to build is integrity. Are you trustworthy? Are you empathetic? Are you a good listener? You need, and these are all skills you need to develop. Is your yes, yes? Is your no, no? Are you honest when you are put under pressure? Are you honest when a bribe is put in front of you? Are you able to turn away and say no? If you are able to collect little, in our sectors, we call it loso. If you are able to collect little losos under the table here and there is a guarantee that when you are on a bigger, platform, you will still collect bribes. And that is why we have bribery and corruption in most of the sectors we find ourselves in, because it didn't just start from the top, it started from the bottom. So for you as a future leader, if you want to be successful, my advice, strong advice, is that above every skill you can build for yourself, build integrity, build character. It is very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Build integrity and build character. Wow. Thank you so much, Lady Reverend Moa. And thank you so much to Pastor Christian Sinclair for making time out of your very, very busy schedules that I am personally very much aware of, but you agreed and sacrificed to come in and teach us all these very important points to be able to build capacity of our existing leaders and those who also aspire to become leaders. Thank you so much, and God bless you. But I hope you know that Oliver Twist will definitely come and ask for more. So when I come, you don't turn me down.
No problem, Happy. You're always welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So our viewers, I'm sure you've learned a lot. I'm sure by now your notebooks are almost full because you have learned a lot. So I expect you to read over your points, play the whole video over and over again. Then you will remember all the points, and then you'll be able to perform at your workplaces and also be able to build yourself to become a leader and a great one, of course. Thank you so much. Until that time, next month, is goodbye from the Global Leadership Group.
One day the nail looked at the hammer and asked with quiet pain, "Why is it always you who hits me?" The hammer lowered its gaze and gently replied, "I don't strike to hurt you. I do it to help you fulfill your purpose." "But it hurts," said the nail. "I know," the hammer answered. "But without those blows, you'd never go deep into the wood. You'd never be steady. You'd never hold anything up." The nail fell silent, then asked, "And you? Don't you get tired of hitting?" "Yes, I do," the hammer whispered. "But it's worth it when I know my effort helps you find your place." The nail smiled, eyes a little misty, and said, "Thank you. for pushing me, even when it hurts. Thank you for not leaving me halfway. Morale. Sometimes life hits us, not to break us, but to put us exactly where we're meant to be. Pain can also be a form of progress. If this story touched something in you, follow me for more reflections that speak to the soul.
Global Leadership Group presents the International Leadership Management Center from the 1st of November.